And we are live. The light just shined on me. Did you see that? I just turned it on. What is going on, LBHT crew? We are doing a lot of streaming. We're doing a lot of streaming. All right. But we want, look, the Ravens got their win. They got their dub on Thursday night. Okay. Got that out the way. Now it's time for the Panthers Nation to show up for this stream. All right, because you guys are out there. You guys follow us, okay? And they got a big win today. This is the first back-to-back win in 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. They were playing the New York Giants, but they hung in there. They got an ugly win. The Giants are god awful, man. Like Daniel Jones, he is the worst. He is the absolute worst. Bryce Young, he looked all right. Just kind of another okay game from him. They got some big plays from Coker and Legat, Jatavian Sanders, and Chuba Hubbard had a great game. But I don't know, man. Like it started off pretty well, and then they kind of I don't want to say they didn't come off the rails, but they really slowed down and they kind of let the Giants hang around, and they had a chance to win. The Giants had a chance to win with under 2 minutes left, but they did the Giants thing. So yeah, I mean it was a win. Can't say I'm thrilled about it still. Like I this team is not competitive, and I'd rather they just get a higher pick. But
okay, well, look, shout out to Omar Tillman. He says good culture win. Do you agree with that?
I mean, it depends on what you mean by a culture win, right? I'm not one who really thinks that stuff carries over season to season. I really don't.
I think it does a little bit. Like you and I talk about developing a winning culture, right? I think you have to be competitive. Like you got to show that you're not just out there to lose. Like there has to be a mindset of we're gonna go out there and compete. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, they're out there competing. I'm just saying I rather that the Giants had been able to score on that last drive because, like I said, you're not it's not a winning culture when you have 3 wins.
Right.
It's just not. And they're not going to be a winning team this season. They're not good enough for that.
Well, he didn't say winning culture. He just said good culture win. Like you got to get some.
You said winning culture, right? And what I'm saying is,
I said develop. You're trying to develop a winning culture.
And what I'm saying is, like, this isn't going to carry over to next season. Like, I mean, we saw it right at the beginning of this year. Because we thought, hey, man, they're building something, and they were playing hard, and Bryce was looking okay, and blah blah blah. And then they went out and they built the O line. We thought they had a good draft. They went and got Deontay Johnson. Everybody was feeling really good, and they came out and they face planted in their first couple of games. It's not a thing that carries over.
I think it does just a little bit. Here's why: because some of those guys are going to be back next year, right? And if you set a certain standard for how you practice, how you approach games and whatnot, those guys, it's instilled in those guys returning.
Right. Yeah. And then that's, what Derek's saying here, need a core roster in place to hold a culture from season to season. And right now they don't have it. Some of the guys will be back, obviously, but I think you're going to see a lot of turnover again, particularly on defense. And if they do look to move on from Bryce Young, then none of it's going to carry over, really, right? Like you're kind of starting from scratch again. But we've talked about this many times. That's why I don't like when bad teams go on second half of the season like mini runs, because all you really do is kill your own draft stock for that season. And that's why Carolina ended up having to give up so much to get Bryce Young to begin with, because they won several games that they really had no business winning. And they knew they still needed that number 1 pick.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not
Press Star 410 says Canals does need to win to keep his job. Panthers have fired a lot of coaches in recent seasons. I understand why you would think that, because yes, Frank Wright had 1 year essentially, right? But they're not going to do that again. I think this, they're gonna have to stick with Dave Canales for a while, and it will serve them well if they do so.
Yeah.
And shout out to Killer. He says, "Hola, Jose, and mucho gusto, Brodny."
Nice to meet you, Cam.
All right, so okay, we got a little Panthers perspective here. Okay, B's a Panthers fan. All right, now the losing side, we got perspective. Okay, on that as well. Our man Ferris is in the house.
I'ma need a day off. I think I called Ferris up.
See that?
You almost stuck the landing. I'll give you like a
Shut
like
up, Jose.
a
All right.
like an 8.3 on that one. Okay. Why don't you just
Okay,
combine
well,
the sounds? We talked about this last time.
Kill Cam says he's not very high on the QBs this draft. I don't really like Ward. Well, you know what? It's not nice to meet you, Cam. Not today. You don't be talking about my quarterback like that.
Ferris, ladies and gentlemen.
You mean my quarterback?
No, you're not drafting a quarterback. You have a $40 million man.
Ferris, you are a Giants fan, and you called the game earlier, right?
I've been told, yeah.
You called the game earlier. Go check out Ferris's play-by-play on Let's Get Ready or LGRN Highlights, the Highlights channel. LGRN, the Highlights channel. The link is in the description. Give us your take, man. What do we see out there from your boys?
We suck. Yay! What do you want me to say? We're bad. Yo, we can't stop the run for nothing. Like zero, bro. Like last year we were a solid defense, but now it's like, yo, y'all, we just suck. Like either the players are not transitioning over to the Shane Bowen defense, and we realize how they drafted and acquired a lot of players built for Wink's defense that are not translating, maybe, or Wink covered a lot of our bad defensive players. But I'm thinking it's more they're not transitioning well to this defense because this is not the defense that this defense was built for. Like, you drafted Tay Banks for Wink Martindale. That was a Wink Martindale pick. You chose him for Wink. You didn't. That's how I know they didn't envision the erosion of that relationship that quickly. Because you can't waste the first round pick. You traded up though. You traded up for Tay Banks because you knew he fit Wink's scheme. Because Wink said, "I like that player better than Joey Porter Jr. or the other players because he fits my defensive scheme better. Man to man, bump and run. That's what we do. Because he's always getting beat on slants. Just run a slant. That's all you got to do.
Now, okay, I got a question for both of y'all.
He plays outside high leverage, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I got a question for both of y'all. So, yeah, obviously you want players that fit your scheme, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're drafting high and you're looking at it's talent first. You're looking at the most talented guys.
Yes.
Do you get a guy based off of what your scheme is, or you get the best talent and say, we'll make some adjustments and make it work?
If you're drafting in the top 10, I think best player available. Top 15, best player available. But the Giants are drafting in like the late 20s. I think that as the first round, as you keep going down the first round, I think you kind of get sometimes scheme specific.
Right.
But if someone falls and you're drafting in the 20s, and let's say like magical situation, like Micah Parsons fell to like the 20s, you draft him. You draft him. Screw it. You draft him. Right. But most of the players usually are gone by 15, and you kind of get scheme specific. And then in the second round, either you find a gem or you find a scheme fit. It doesn't matter. It happens, That's my way of thinking.
Okay. What about you, B?
Yeah, each draft has a certain number of what you consider elite prospects.
Mm-hmm.
And, it'll fluctuate, 6 to 12 or however many, your organization thinks there are. And if you have a chance to take one of those players, you take them. Period. And once those players are gone, like Farrah said, you look at guys who are better fits. But when you're still within that realm, like, you take those players because those players are difference-making players.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Shout out to Yolanda. Says, hey everyone. Salute to
So,
Yolanda. Thanks for coming through.
because I remember one year there were 40 first round graded prospects, 40, but that doesn't mean there was 40 elite prospects.
well, yeah, and that changes from team to team. Like, not everybody
Exactly.
had 40 first round prospects. And yes, Cam is good. Cam, you stop it. How do you
Chaos
think?
said,
How do you think Miami was undefeated up until this point if Cam Ward isn't good?
yeah. Chaos says Panthers defense hasn't been the same without Thomas Davis, Beeson, Keekly.
I mean,
Well, I mean, listen, when
Yeah,
you
time out, time
lose
out, time
great,
out, time out, time out. He just gonna throw in John Beason in there, like,
he didn't play with the other two. I mean, he
like,
played
no,
with he played, they weren't all three there at the same time.
right.
homies.
Miracle plays, Cam, get out of here, bro.
When you lose great players, your offense or defense isn't going to be the same. That's how it works. That's why they're great.
Carolina's offense hasn't been the same since Cam Newton. So, like, see,
Right.
I mean, the Miami Hurricanes have had miracle plays 9 weeks in a row. No, there are Killian. There are no such things as plays you can only make in college. I would have thought that you learned that watching Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Saquon Barkley hurdling someone backwards. It's about the level of talent you have. Now, maybe I don't expect him to be pulling out wins in the last 30 seconds every week in the NFL, but he's also going to be on a much better roster in the NFL eventually than he is right now.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the box score here. Let's pull this up. This was
We don't have to.
Bryce Young started out. Yeah, we do. We're going over the game. Bryce Young started out hot. I thought this was going to be a breakout game of sorts early on. Right, had a very good first drive, but the rest of the game, he looked like the typical Bryce that we've seen. But he finished with 15 for 25, 126 yards and a touchdown, no pick, so that's good. Chuba Hubbard went off, and I'm glad to see him come back because I saw he went down. 28 carries, 153 yards and a touchdown, 5.5 yards per carry. Bryce Young also had 2 carries for 30 yards. Look, he didn't throw for a lot. Jatavian Sanders got your sole touchdown. But Bryce Young protected the ball. That's good. No turnovers. Daniel Jones.
And says, speaking of, why can't Daniel Jones do it then if it's so easy? First of all, nobody said it's easy. Second of all, nobody said Daniel Jones is good. And third of all, you have seen Daniel Jones make incredible plays in the NFL. So I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, they're just with his legs. He can't throw.
No,
But
yeah.
he's still done it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that second interception was. I don't know what he was looking at.
Josie, he's a jewel.
Yeah. That's who caught it.
You want a great man once told me that. You know who that great man was? Raconteur himself, Brodny Ivers.
No, Cam. Nobody said he did it consistently. He's not good. Nobody said Daniel Jones is good.
Yes. Yeah. Find me the person.
Pat Mahomes does it consistently. Lamar does it consistently. Josh Allen does it consistently. You can absolutely do it if you're that type of player.
Yeah, that's the difference between great players and good players and average players and bad players. Everyone can make an elite play.
Yeah.
Elite players and great players make those every single week, all the time. Like that's always been my biggest hurdle about the Hall of Fame is you got to be consistently elite for multiple years. Like if you just have like a good 4-week run, like Sam Darnold has had, Kirk Cousins sometimes has, but every year their real persona, their real person always rears their ugly head because they always do something stupid.
Yeah. Okay, see, now you're saying you don't think Ward is elite. What you said before is that he's not good. Those are different statements. And by the way, let's see what Shador is doing when he's not throwing to Travis Hunter anymore.
And Jimmy Horn Jr. and Latanya? No.
I don't think there's nobody named Latanya on the team.
Yeah.
Jatavian, you mean?
Jatavian Webster. There it is.
No, I said Latanya.
I don't know his name. But yeah. No, Daniel Jones isn't good. Your running back is pretty good though.
Yeah, he is. LeJounte
Yeah,
Webster.
there you go.
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy. Talk to us about Tyrone Tracy. He lost the game for y'all.
Yeah, he was our only bright spot. He's also the reason we lost the game. First play in overtime, fumble right away. Literally the last 4 minutes of the game, 5 minutes of the game, both teams didn't want to win the game. Like they just didn't want to win the game. Chubu with the fumble, Daniel Jones with the interception, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And I'm like, bro, what the hell is going? Like neither team wanted to win the game at the end of the game. And then of course, like Carolina didn't. I don't think Carolina won. Like both teams wanted to lose this game. You could see they wanted to lose this game, both teams. But someone had to win. Someone had to win. You know what I mean?
It did feel that way. It did feel like
the last 4 minutes, Brodny, you can, I don't know, either back me up or tell me I'm wrong, but it felt like both teams didn't want to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're both very bad teams.
Yeah.
Right? And
look. I said this before we went on air. I said Daniel Jones is really bad, or he's very good at his job, which is tanking.
That's why Buck keeps saying Drew Lock season. No, we may win a game with him.
Right.
You ain't want to know what Drew Lock.
It could be Daniel Jones understands the assignment. He's going out there and doing his job.
Yes. Well, we thought about that with Tommy DeVito last year, Brodny, and then his ass gonna go Monday night.
Yeah, you thought about that because he was an unknown. You didn't know anything about Tommy Cutlets. Give him his proper respect. You know exactly what Drew Lock is.
Yeah, the guy who beat the Eagles on Monday night that one time.
That one time, Daniel Jones has won 2 games too. Ferris, everybody wins every now and then. Drew Lock is trash.
Yeah, but I don't want to win anything, so I know I'm not going to win with Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones has already won 2 games, Ferris. What are you talking about? You're 2-7.
What Ferris is saying is Daniel Jones is professional enough to know.
Yes.
Oh, we had the ball and have a chance to win.
Let me
throw an interception.
Daniel Jones.
I didn't see Josie Jewell there. Who knew?
What it is Drew
Lock
is worse than Daniel Jones in every way.
No, but Drew Lock,
he might accidentally say, "Hey, it's Jeezy time," and go out there and accidentally win it.
I'm gonna say this. I don't appreciate the way y'all are throwing Daniel Jones under this bus like he's not trying to win. Like Daniel Jones is not on board with tanking. What is going to happen if you tank, Ferris?
I didn't say that. I say he's a professional.
He's going to get replaced.
He's going to get replaced. You think he wants that?
Yeah, but well, you know what? He has $80 million reasons to get over it.
Yes.
And if he keeps playing, he'll have more than 80 million reasons. Ferris?
Allegedly, he may get cut after this year.
Regardless.
Yeah.
It's it for him. That's it. Okay, so question for you, Ferris.
Shut the hell up, Brandon. Your Cardinals do that all the time. I lose all respect.
Focus over here. Focus over here.
Childish take.
Focus over here.
Stupid ass take.
Brian Dable, does he keep his job at the end of the year?
He should.
I
think he should.
John Murrah came out and said no one's getting fired, but I don't believe that. We'll see.
Did somebody ask him, or he just come out and say that?
No, someone asked him about their job security, and he said, "No, we're not firing anybody. No one's getting fired."
Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I can't control that.
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be good.
That's what he because here's the thing about John Murrah. He may not be on Twitter, but he knows his reputation of Mr. Trigger Happy, or like you only give these people 2 years and you always fire them. So he's gonna give them time. Like people want to be like Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's had only 3 coaches since 1965. 3 coaches. And sometimes that's not gonna happen because you need to find a Mike Tomlin. To replace a Bill Cowher, you need to find a Bill Cowher to replace a Chuck Noll. What happened to them is like something like that's mind-boggling to me. Like how did this happen for this team? Right. And that's what in his reputation of John Murrah since he fired Ben McAdoo. It's been you only give him 2 years and you fire them. Give him time. So he's gonna be like, okay, fine, I'll give him time. Either they continue to fail, and he's gonna tell the fans, I gave them time, I listened. Y'all should shut the hell up next time. Or they fire them, and it doesn't matter, man. Fire them, keep them. I don't give a shit.
All right. Thank you, Ferris. All right. Hit that like button, y'all. If you're new in here, okay, if you're first time Panthers fan finding us, hit that subscribe button. Okay. We trying to build up Panthers Nation over here. Okay. We trying to give B some support on this channel. All right. You guys got your first back-to-back wins in 2 seasons. Buck here says, I lose all respect for coaching staff if they don't try to win. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's a childish take, because and you only say it in one direction, right? Nobody cares when a team doesn't try to win at the end of the season.
I was about to ask that.
When they rest their starters in a week 18 or whatever, when that game still means something for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a take as if this is the only season that is ever going to happen, right? And I always look back at teams where, like, hey, if you say that, I don't know, whoever you think is the best quarterback prospect ever, right? Or
Andrew Luck.
whoever it is you want to put there, you say, hey, they're going number 1. We have a chance. We're in the driver's seat for that number 1 pick. Would you rather your team win a meaningless Week 18 game and move themselves out of position to take that player, or tank and lose it and get Andrew Luck or whoever it's going to be? Like, if you say I'd rather win in Week 18 in a game that you are not going to remember ever and it's not going to mean anything, I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If we don't win those 3 games, Tommy DeVito wins. We're the 2nd overall pick, and guess who we get?
Yeah,
we get Jaden Daniels. Giants fans wouldn't care.
Right. Press Star 410 says, if NFL wants to discourage tanking, they have to stop gifting the worst team the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, you know how you get rid of tanking? Get rid of the draft.
Hey, Cam, do me a favor and clip the part where anyone said Cam Ward is Andrew Luck. What are you?
Ain't nobody said that.
What are you talking about?
Ain't nobody said that, bro.
Nobody even mentioned Cam Ward.
Nobody did. Brodny asked, who do you think the best QB prospect? Me, I was thinking of modern time. It was Andrew Luck. So that year, it was Andrew. Like, here's the thing. People liked Robert Griffin III. He had a great season. He won the Heisman. I don't think he should have won it, but he won the Heisman, and it was all wonderful. Whatever. Great story out of Baylor. But when it was draft time, someone asked, who's the best QB prospect? Nobody said RG3. Everyone knew who was going number 1.
Until he ran that 40. Until he ran that 43-40. Then people were like,
no.
Oh, yes. People did say.
And those people are dumb. All right.
Some people did say.
And they're dumb.
I was one of them. I saw that 43. I was like,
thank you.
I'll take that. No, but when he ran that 43-40, people were like, might take him over Luck.
Andrew Luck ran a 4.5 at 250.
No one is talking.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was more impressive in my opinion.
Yeah.
You said what, B?
I'm telling you, Cam, no one is talking specifically about this draft. He made a comment about tanking in general.
Yes.
Yeah, Cam, keep up, Cam.
Keep up. Man. Come on.
We're talking about just general tanking. Are you for it or not?
Like Cam Newton out of Auburn. Like that would have been probably one of the best QB classes if Andrew Luck actually declared after his junior year. It would have been him and Cam at 1, fighting for 1 and 2. That would have been crazy. But he decided to come back. And then Carolina had to take Cam Newton, which is a funny thing to say. But like Cam Newton literally carried a college on his back. One player on that college team was drafted other than him. And that was the defensive tackle, Nick Fairley. Everyone else didn't get drafted. His receivers didn't get drafted. None of the offensive linemen got drafted. Nobody else got drafted but him and Nick Fairley. That's a quarterback.
That year.
His year. That's a quarterback you tank for. The man took Gene Chizik to a national title. Guess what happened to Gene Chizik when Cam graduated? He was fired within 2 years.
But to the other part of it, and Cam, this is to your point. Even if there isn't a generational quarterback or the greatest quarterback prospect or whatever, you tank to put yourself in the best position. If Carolina doesn't win another game and they end up with the number 1 pick, they don't have to take Cam Ward. They don't have to take Shador Sanders. They can do whatever they want. They can take any player they want, or they can sell that pick to someone who's desperate to move up, who does think Shador Sanders is a franchise quarterback, who does think that Cam Ward is a franchise quarterback. It helps your team in the long run regardless, because then you get a boatload of picks to help rebuild your team. So either you can tank for a specific player, or you tank and you get the value of whatever that trade would be if you're able to move down and get future picks, or you get the opportunity to just take the player that you want. Now, again, when you don't tank, like Carolina, like a couple of years ago, Carolina didn't tank. They won several games in the second half of the season. They ended up 9th, and they needed the quarterback. And they had to trade a future first, a future second, that 9th overall pick, and DJ Moore to get their quarterback.
Yeah.
That depends, Cam. It depends. He's saying not for fans, yes. For coaches and players, no. That depends. Because if you're in an organization that's on board with the plan you have moving forward, you can absolutely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people, yeah, that's why
right. These guys aren't getting developed in college. Well, but here's the thing, because people think that a player is supposed to get developed in college, but those coaches are trying to win. They're not worried about developing them for the next level. Like they lie and tell the players that, right? But that's not their number one focus, right? Yeah, they have to develop them to get them to a certain level to perform for their team. That's their number one focus. Getting ready for the NFL is a byproduct, right, of what they did to prepare them to win for their team. When they get to the NFL, it is the coach's job in the NFL to develop them further.
Yeah, you can say that you don't trust owners, but do you think that the Indianapolis Colts were trying to win the year that Peyton Manning sat out with his neck injury when they were running out Curtis Painter? You think they were trying to win, or do you think they were trying to get Andrew Luck in the next draft?
And they ran out Curtis Painter after Kerry Collins won them a game by accident, and they benched him.
Yeah. Literally, we're like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Curtis. Don't do that. But then the problem is, then they fired Jim Caldwell, which was bullshit.
Yeah.
Jim did what he wanted with them to do. Imagine Jim with Andrew Luck. Oh my God, that would have been amazing. But now he was stuck with.
The Panthers should take Travis Hunter. He could probably start wide receiver, cornerback, and kick returner for them right away.
Yeah, I think he should be. Well, I think he's best at wide receiver, and I don't know. He's going to be playing both ways in the NFL because no owner wants him to have the argument that hey, I'm playing corner and wide receiver, and you need to pay me accordingly.
Yeah. So, okay, Panthers fans, all right, people in chat.
You know how bad this game was? We just had a full-on conversation about tanking instead of the game.
Because it's relevant. No, it's relevant to it because it's two teams here that need to tank, for a quarterback. Let's just be real about it. Like Bryce Young didn't change he started to change my mind a little bit in that first quarter. I was like, okay, this could be a game where we talked about stack on top of the games each week, get better and better. And I was like, man, if he finishes this game with like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, we have to really look at these next few weeks. That's what I was thinking.
Hold on, one second. This is the last thing Cam here because he's saying, obviously that Colts coach got fired anyway, so you can't trust the owner's word. No, you can't trust the owner's word. And Cam, he was going to get fired no matter what. Go look at Steve Wilkes and what he did as the interim head coach in Carolina, and then tell me why he got fired. Like it's not because I tanked or I didn't go along with it or whatever. They decide your fate regardless. Like it's better for the team moving forward if you tank. And if the owner wants that coach, then that coach will still be there. If the owner doesn't want that coach is going to be gone whether they tank or not.
Racism.
I mean, it wasn't racism with Steve Wilkes. They said from the beginning they wanted an offensive-minded head coach.
Oh, no, I was talking about Steve Wilkes. I was talking about Jim.
Well,
also, too, the owner of the Colts was also probably on cocaine when he said that. But, depending on, you can't really trust anything that come out that dude's mouth.
So, Bryce Young didn't gain the rest of the game didn't go the way I thought it would go. So, yes, you guys, I think, still need a quarterback. Obviously, the Giants have needed a quarterback for like the last 3 years. Okay.
6.
Okay, 6 years. I'm sorry, 6 years. You know, the don't tank crowd. What do you what would you suggest for the Panthers? Right, if you're saying no, you don't tank, you keep you compete, you go out there and compete, but you need a quarterback. What's the answer? Right, people don't like how the sausage is made, but this is what needs to be done. Right, it's ugly going through it. It's painful to watch, but
Mm-hmm.
you need to lose these games so you can get those type of players, and you get the right player or players. It turns around the franchise.
As
Yeah,
Commanders fans right now, you happy you've been bad for the past 2 years? Damn right we are. You know why? Because it netted them Jaden Daniels, who
and
in retrospect is probably gonna be the best quarterback coming out this draft. Because I'll say this, man, Caleb Williams ain't, he hasn't really impressed me like Jaden has.
can't
I like
think,
him.
but coaches and players
Yeah,
can't
I
take.
remember that.
It's not up to them, Cam. It
Mm-hmm.
is absolute. It's not up to the coaches and the players. The players, players don't ever tank. Players
No.
never go out there and try and lose games. And
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, coaches don't do that either. But the organization puts you in position to lose. I
Yeah.
mean, and everybody knows what it is when a team is trying to tank. That's not going to affect those guys going forward. But the organization puts you in that position by not giving you the talent that you need to win.
Yeah, like pulling your starting quarterback in a game and putting Nate Sudfeld in.
Hmm.
Like blatant. You know what I mean? Like trading your best players, benching your best players. Like it happens all the time. Like Carolina's tanking, in a sense, they have Xavier Legette, but they got rid of two of their three starting wide receivers.
Hmm.
You know, now they have David Moore, Legette, Jalen Coker. When they started the season off with Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo, and Xavier Legette, now they got rid of two of those, and then you kind of just start getting rid of pieces because you're like, try to win with nothing. It's gonna
Yeah,
work against the Giants because they're the Giants, but it's not gonna happen next. Who you guys got next week?
Kansas City.
It's not gonna work against Kansas City.
Right.
Well, unless this week's Kansas City showing up because apparently the Broncos are beating them right now. But
Yeah, still a quick score update. Broncos are up against the Chiefs 14-10. We got the 49ers beating the Bucks 10-3. Patriots are up on the Bears 10-3. Bills are up on the Colts 17-13. Steelers are up on the Commanders 14-10. Commanders had the ball. Oh yeah, they look like they just got the ball. They're on their own 6. Jaguars are up on the Vikings 7-3. And the Saints are up on the Falcons 17-7. And later on, you got the Titans against the Chargers. You got Jets against Cardinals, Eagles and Cowboys, Dolphins, Rams, Lions, Texans.
like Buck talk about losing respect. I'm like, bro, but you tanked for Kyler Murray. Why did you tank for Kyler Murray if you already had Josh Rosen? Because you realized that Josh Rosen may not be the answer. After a couple practices. Then you hired a coach who told you outright, I don't want this kid. I want that kid. And you then drafted a quarterback. Because the key was, do you want Josh Rosen and Nick Bosa, or do you want Kyler Murray and got rid of Josh Rosen? That was the big key going to that draft. You get Josh and Nick, or Kyler, and you start all over. You know what I mean?
But okay, look. Okay, we're making it too easy for them. That's too easy because you have the whole season and people say you never know,
No,
you
but
never know.
you
But
tanked.
hold on. We're making a scenario too easy for these guys. Okay, Buck. If let's say let's rewind it back. Let's rewind the clock back. Right. You don't want, this is before the Josh Rosen draft. Right before that draft. Knowing what we know now. Okay, we could do a redraft. Lamar, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Those are the quarterbacks that went in the first round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Cardinals have 2 games left, right? Or 1 game left. They're currently holding the number 1 spot. If they win their last game, they drop down to 2 or 3. If they lose it, they secure the number 1 spot. Do you want them to win? do you want them to win that game and drop down 2 or 3 spots, or do you want them to hold on to that spot so you can draft Lamar or Allen, whoever you like?
And let me tell you something. I would not even show up to the game just in case.
I just want that. I just want that answer. Don't put anything else on it. Just tell me what you want to do. Coach wants to know if you're okay, Ferris.
No, Coach, I'm not. But shout out to you, Coach, because an alumnus of Alcorn State played in the game. Shout out to you. Thought of you right away.
You always say to win.
This is the one. This is dumb. And two, it's not true. You know you're lying.
But no, hold on. So you're saying if you have a chance to lock up the number 1 pick and get a prospect like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, or fall out of that spot and know you're not going to get that guy, and just just keep going with the back quarterback you have, or go with somebody that you really don't know about, you rather just win just for the sake of winning. You're not a better team. You just got one extra win and you miss out on a generational prospect. And look, if that's your answer,
my bad.
If that's your answer, fine. But that's how bad teams stay bad.
Buck, this says 2 different things. If you hope they lose, then you are not wanting them to win. Brandon.
Exactly. You want to tank. Like that's the thing, because they were the 10th pick in that draft. They could have still drafted Lamar Jackson. They could have still drafted him because he was 32. You know what I mean? You talk about regretting. You wouldn't have regretted that pick.
Hey, Buck, so if I ask you, what do you want to eat? Or you ask me, hey, Jose, what do you want to eat for dinner? And I say, I hope we have some tacos, but I want spaghetti.
Yeah. What?
You know what you're going to do? You're going to ask me again. So what do you want to eat?
That's literally, yes.
And look, tanking is not, it's not a cure-all, obviously. It's a means to an end, and sometimes it doesn't work. A lot of times it doesn't work. But like if you look at, say, a team like the San Antonio Spurs, who had David Robinson, who one of the greatest players of all time, he got hurt and they tanked. Right? Yeah. You said what you said. It made no sense, Brandon. We know what you're saying.
Yeah. That doesn't work in this situation, but
you can't say that because you said 2 different things.
But David Robinson gets hurt, and they're like, you know what? David Robinson's just not going to play this year. And so you endured one terrible season so that you get Tim Duncan and you have 20 straight winning seasons. Not just winning seasons, 50 win seasons minimum. And 5 championships.
Yeah, because they're like, yo, this kid out of Wake Forest, he seems pretty good. It's like, yeah, I think he is. Let's get that kid.
And to say, hey, you know what?
Trevor.
I'd rather win a few more games and not get that guy.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, instead we would
like pay the bills. B, you just said, like, some, a lot of times it doesn't work out.
Doesn't work, right? Yeah.
But when you need a quarterback, first of all, Trevor doesn't. He's not a bad quarterback. Like they're a bad team right now, but he's not a bad quarterback. But when you need that guy,
they're a pretty bad team.
You go and get that guy, and then worry about everything else afterwards. What would them not getting Trevor done for that team? Would that have made them better?
Like, pay the bills. How did it work out for the Giants to win a few extra games and draft Daniel Jones? Did that work? No. If you draft a bad player, you just drafted a bad player.
That was a bad QB class, by the way, too.
Okay.
Because he was the first QB off the board, actually.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm just saying, Chris.
Also, I started thinking about this. Like, imagine the Spurs with Keith Van Horn instead of Tim Duncan.
This is true chaos. Oh, yeah, Keith Van Horn.
Imagine that. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
You know who the 3rd pick in that draft was? It's Chauncey Billups, actually. And the Celtics got rid of him afterwards. Celtics were like, nah, we don't want you no more.
Yeah, he was good. He was good 10 years later.
Yeah, he was good 10 years later.
He was really good 10 years later.
T-Mac went 9.
And no, he was not. Wait a minute, hold up. He was not the first quarterback off the board in that class.
Who was the first quarterback?
He was the second quarterback off the board. Kyler Murray was the first quarterback.
Oh, yeah. First overall pick. Yeah, you're right. Good point. Yeah.
So you could have had Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, or Quinnen Williams, but you got Daniel Jones.
Exactly. Yo, imagine Quinnen and Dexter Lawrence together. That'd been crazy. Damn.
Rosen is retired. I think he's pursuing his master's.
In what? Inflatable pools?
art, something like that.
You know what? You keep calling me
And to
bum
say bum
scoop.
scoop again.
No.
Talking about
You
Ferris.
know what? You know what? I'm sick and tired of how we just accept this bullshit. This man gonna call me bum scoop, but his name is Rouge, and he keeps saying it's Rogue. That's not how Rogue is spelled. That's not how Rogue is spelled, and we just accept that nonsense.
That's not pronounced rouge.
That's how Rouge is spelled.
That's not
That's
how
not that's not how Rogue
Do
is
you have to?
spelled. I know that.
What is rouge? Like
That's a
Moulin Rouge?
No,
Yeah.
well, Rouge.
it has an E.
It has an E at the end. That's what I thought.
The E is silent.
Another bum scoop.
I can bum scoop your fucking faces. I mean, your fucking faces.
My goodness. Control yourself, Ferris.
Ferris,
Sorry.
I swear, if you don't do this on ESPN, we're gonna have a problem. Okay. Like you gotta let at least one slip when you get to ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, Ferris will be on ESPN one day, or CBS Sports, or Fox, or wherever Michelle Beadle is, where she can drop the N word and still keep her job.
But it's crazy, man.
Did you see that, B?
Crazy, bro. Can't believe she did that.
No, I didn't say.
Michelle Beadle, yeah, dropped the N word.
When was this?
She was trying to say nuggets, I guess, and she said the AS. It wasn't the hard R. She said the AS. I don't know, whatever show that was. Who's the basketball player that was sitting there cracking up?
So it's FanDuel's basketball show, and it's Lou Williams and Chandler Parsons.
Lou Williams, yeah.
Yeah.
And Lou Williams sitting there laughing. What you laughing for?
Look, I don't, that kind of stuff. People have slip of the tongue all the time, and it's just, okay,
Well,
like,
it gets you fired too. So that's what happened with the.
It depends. It depends on how it comes out, whether or not you get fired.
So let me ask you, B.
This happened to the A's play-by-play guy.
When Ferris drops an F-bomb on TV, is he going to be able to keep his job?
No,
that depends. It depends on how far into Ferris's career are we talking.
Week one, I'll be like, these mother lovers stupid.
That's why we keep telling you, Ferris, you need to start practicing from now, not swearing. But you don't have a filter.
It's wrong. I had a filter on today's stream when I was calling the game. I could have let out a bunch of expletives.
Man, all right.
I agree, Killer. It came off too fluid. She said it so naturally, and I don't even think she apologized.
No,
that's not great.
So the A's play-by-play guy, he'd been the A's play-by-play guy for like 15, 20 years, and they were in Kansas City, and you're damn right, dog. I literally said when the fumble happened, I was like, "Game's over." so he says, "Oh, me and Dallas Braden just visited the." He meant to say Negro League Museum, but he doesn't say Negro. Yeah,
I think I remember that, and I don't think that was an accident.
Drop me out.
Okay, I remember that. I don't think that was an accident. He tried to come out and say it was an accident. I was like, that wasn't an accident. You did that on purpose. Yeah. So look, we're gonna finish up here soon. I didn't want to go that long. Handles in the chat. Are we still good for? Let's push it to like 3:30. I got to take Anita down the street real quick.
So you make her Uber.
No, that's too close, and that'll be my money. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. We got a little surprise for people. Okay, we're gonna do a little pop-up stream. Myself, B, and Hendo are working on another podcast. Yes, indeed. Details will be on Patreon. Okay, we're doing a little dry run, little practice run. Just for Patreon members only. Okay. So if you want to check it out and see what it's about, patreon.com/LBHTShow. This is something that will be dropping probably next year, right?
Yeah.
Next year. Yeah. So we're doing a lot of planning for this. Okay. This is just part of the planning phase. But we'd like to share this stuff for our Patreon members, give you a little insight on what we're doing behind the scenes. So Come check it out. Yes, Yolanda says she's looking forward to it.
And now we can't
Yes,
swear.
indeed. Huh?
And now we can't swear.
I don't think we were planning on swearing on it, but
you don't ever plan on it, but in the moment, sometimes it feels right.
Oh, okay.
Like Ferris. Okay? Ferris has never once in his life planned to swear.
Well, I think he does. I think that's his default. He has to plan not to swear, and it just comes out. Deadly combination. Yeah, we're really excited about it. We think this is gonna. It's different.
We are definitely moderately excited, for sure.
All right, quick recap, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. The Panthers get the win in overtime, 20-17. Bryce, man,
I'm not. I don't even want to say it. Like, he played fine today.
He played fine.
Next week they're playing the Chiefs, and we need to see what you look like in that game.
Yes. Yeah.
Because at this point,
I think he protected the ball well.
Right now, it's still need a new quarterback.
Yes.
At this point, but they've got coming up. They've got Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, Dallas, Arizona, Tampa, and Atlanta to close out the season. So that's another 7 games. So by the end of the season, we should have a pretty definitive answer. And I think you're gonna get a big chunk of the answer next week, playing one of the best defenses in the league. Because I mean, even in that game, I don't think you're not going to be able to lean on Chuba Hubbard,
right?
Or and Brooks, who I thought was going to be making his debut this week, but didn't. Looks like he's going to be playing at Kansas City. But yeah, as of right now, it's nice to see him playing better than he was previously. But it's still, we need to find the answer at quarterback at this point.
Yeah, like I said, next week is one of those games. He just has to. I mean, they got to throw the ball, right? You can't go out there and try to protect them. And like, he just has to go out there and play. Turns the ball over. Right? You get blown out, you get blown out. But you gotta go out there and start showing something. Like, it's nice you got back-to-back wins, but the way you performed, can't keep you around. All right, you got to really open it up next week. Yeah. Shout out to Josie Jewell, man. Josie Jewell had a fumble recovery and an interception.
Sure did.
So, shout out to Danny Dimes for make sure he got those. Bryce probably ain't it, but I'm glad to see him get the chance to prove people wrong. Yeah, for sure. Like you said, like preferably he turns it around. I would love to see him go out next week and throw for 400 yards. I thought he was going to throw for about 300 today. That's what it was looking like in the first quarter. It felt like, everything was just clicking for him. He knew where to hit everybody. Everything was clicking, and it just completely slowed down after that. My hope was he gave about 300 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, and then build off of that, and then go into next week, throw for a lot of yards. You know what I mean? Like, stack on top of it. That's what we're waiting to see. But if you can't do it, man, you can't waste time. Not Canales. He can't waste time another year hoping that he goes to the next level.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ferris, you ready to come back up? All right.
I thought I muted myself.
No, that's all good. Yeah. We're gonna wrap up here pretty soon. Any final thoughts on your Giants in the game?
Yes. We still suck.
There you go. All right, y'all. Head over to Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow. That's where you'll find us very soon. Probably about an hour. In about an hour, we'll be over there, and we'll be kind of giving you a sneak peek of our brand new podcast. We're not even going to say the name yet. Not here. Go over to patreon.com/LBHTShow if you want to know the name. All right, we got a logo and everything. I think you guys will like it. All right, B, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. B says he's ready. All right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. This is a little pop-up stream. We want to give the Panthers fans a little special attention here and there. All right. So make sure you subscribe and support. I also put a link in the description for other Panthers content creators. All right. Shout out to Rashad and Dave for Panthers Nation podcast. We worked with them in the past. Real good brothers. They're actually out in Germany right now, enjoying that win. Shout out to Aaron Duncan from Unnecessary Bluntness, big supporter of the show. He's also in Germany. Yes. Shout out to him. Country Boy from One Mic History. He's a huge Panthers fan as well, right? And he's been on the show. All right. All these brothers we're gonna have to bring on the show at some point. Country Boy, I'm gonna bring him back on. But go check out their work. Their links are in the description. Dope channels. All right. Country Boy it's not Panthers channel. It's a Black History channel. But awesome work. All right. And there goes Ferris. He's ready to go now. All right, y'all. We are out of here. We will see you on Wednesday. Peace.